pulpit. Let's start hardball. Good evening, I'm Chris Matthews in Washington. President Trump is still on the ground in El Paso, Texas right now. The second leg of his trip to console and memorialize the victims of this weekend's mass shootings. Trump's visits came against a backdrop of public anger over his racially divisive language and inaction on guns. We saw that in the protest that greeted him today. But Trump doubled down again against his critics this morning, telling reporters that his rhetoric unifies people.
What do you say to your critics that believe it's your rhetoric that is emboldening white nationalists and inspiring this anger?
So my critics are political people. They're trying to make points. In many cases, they're running for president and they're very low in the polls. A couple of them in particular, very low in the polls. I think my rhetoric is it brings people together.
Well, as the president met along with the
White
victims
supremacists,
in Ohio
maybe.
and El Paso, Texas, demonstrators in both cities made clear that they viewed Trump as part of the problem. Actually, Trump made their point for them. On a day meant for mourning, the president spent much of his time airing political grievances and taking cheap shots at his political enemies. In between Dayton and El Paso, for example, Trump tweeted, "Watching sleepy Joe Biden making a speech so boring. Our country will do poorly with him. He wishes." It certainly wasn't Sleepy Joe we saw today.
Trump readily, eagerly attacks Islamic terrorism, but can barely bring himself to use the words white supremacy. And even when he says it, he doesn't appear to believe it.
Well, Trump also complained early today that the New York Times didn't give him enough credit for his response to the mass shootings, and attacked the coverage he received this afternoon, even from Fox News. He also went after El Paso's Beto O'Rourke, saying O'Rourke shouldn't speak out about the 22 largely Hispanic people massacred in his hometown. Beto, this is Trump talking, phony name to indicate Hispanic heritage. That's Trump
Jesus,
tweeting.
what an asshole.
O'Rourke should respect the victims of law enforcement and be quiet. Well, see what I said about cheap shots? He can't stop.
He can't help
All of this
himself.
from a president
He's
supposedly
sick.
apt to bind the wounds of the country in the wake of two tragedies. I'm joined now by Jill Colvin, White House reporter for the Associated Press. Victoria.